What's up, guys? How's it going? This is Jerome here from Jerry's Apps, and today I'm going to show you the basics of AirConsole and Unity. And basically what I'm going to show you is one, how to start a basic project with the examples AirConsole gives you and what they do, and basically kind of how to go through, see what's going on. I'm going to show you how to test out the game in the simulator, and then finally do a export to AirConsole server so you can actually test it out on your phone. So it's going to be hopefully a short video. It's going to be high level, and I'll do more videos later on that are more in depth. So the first thing you want to do is get Unity ready, and as you can see here, I'm using version 2017.3.1F1, and I'm using the most up-to-date AirConsole asset from the store. It's free, you can get it no problem. So I'm going to add it. Now if you don't have it already added to your project here, you can add it after the fact. I'm assuming you have some sort of Unity knowledge, but for the most part you can go ahead and actually follow along with this video. So I'm going to create my project here, and it's going to put some basic things together. It's going to import everything we need to import, and you'll be good to go. So while this is loading, a little bit about AirConsole. You can play at airconsole.com. They've got over 100 games right now. You can play for free. You can subscribe to get more benefits in game. Some games unlock extra characters, some will unlock extra levels, but for the most part you don't have to do that. It's an added benefit, so it's a great system. You can load it up on your computer, and I like to actually stream it to my TV and then use your smartphone to play. As far as architecture goes, if you're a developer, essentially there's a whole idea of messaging. So when I hit a button on my phone, it'll send a message to the screen. The screen is the game that you see on your TV. And then vice versa, the screen can actually send a message to your phone. So there's messages going back and forth. Let's say you got 10 people playing at once, that's 10 phones. You might all be doing messaging back and forth, but I'll get into that into another video. So here we can see that we have our Unity project, and we have a AirConsole folder here. Now you'll notice there's examples, plugins. It's examples that we really care about, and I'm going to show you the Pong example. So if you want to get started really quick and easy, you open up the Pong scene and you're going to want to hit play. Now you might run into some issues with it starting. If so, you'll have to go into the AirConsole settings, but for the most part it may work. If you click on AirConsole here, you'll see I've got auto scale canvas. I'm choosing the virtual controller start mode. These different settings will change how it loads. Again, that's for another video. For right now, I just want to get it started to show you how this thing works. So I'm hitting play, and you'll notice that a simulator has started for your controllers. So we'll see here that's going to actually connect. The game has started, and when I press up, our controller is moving. We can bounce back and forth with the ball. So if this was deployed in real life, we'd have two phones with two players playing back and forth. So quick and easy example. All that's happening behind the scenes here really is when I press up, there's a message going to the screen saying, hey, I'm paddle 2, move me up. And then you see it move up on the screen. So that's really easy, quick and easy. It's a very basic example to teach you what's going on. So the controller is what's actually showing on the phone. So I'm just going to open up that script quickly here to show you kind of how it's working. It's all basically AirConsole. So you'll see here we've got a basic HTML page with JavaScript. We have different functions here like on active players changed, on ready, when's the game ready. We've got, let's see here. So when we're moving, we have a message going to our screen and what did we move by. So that's where the bulk of that logic actually happens. So there's not much here, like that's all it is. And we have a Pong game. Like, it's quick and easy. It's a great system. Obviously there's more to it if you do a more advanced example, but that again, that's for another video. So this here's the screen logic. As we can see, we need to know on message. So we have to have a function that on message, we do something. On connect, when a player connects to the game, we have to do something. On disconnect, I strongly recommend you handle disconnects as well. You don't want to be stuck in the middle of game, player leaves, and the game doesn't handle it. That's not a good experience. And same idea, you know, we got on connect, on disconnect. You can check out the AirConsole API to see what all this does. So again, this is a very high level to get you started. So I've showed you how to open the project. I've showed you how to look at the basic controller code, how to look at the screen code, how to play it. Another example here, which is a very good one. It's a little more advanced than the Pong one, but what it'll show you exactly is all the different messaging techniques, all the navigation techniques, all of the other functions you can kind of do. It basically encapsulates a lot of the AirConsole features into this one page that you can kind of test. And this is the one I'm actually going to export for you guys to show you what's going on, how to make it work. So as you can see, there's a bunch of functions here, and I really recommend when you're starting out, do a test like this. Like if you want to move a player, make a really basic controller to move the player, change its location. Don't go all out first. Translate that later on. You'll really save yourself a lot of trouble. So you know, if I click show my player number, so I'm undefined right now because I actually didn't set the player numbers yet. But I do have a device ID. So my ID is 1. If I go to the other controller, we see that our device is ID 2. Now, never hard code IDs. They're not guaranteed. They could be different. That's a bad idea. Make sure they're dynamic. You know, we have all these other functions. Again, that's for another video. You can dive into this. If you have any questions, let me know. But for the most part, I'm going to actually just move on now to the deploying part now. So what we want to do, again, this is basic Unity functionality here. You want to go to your build settings. It's going to be a WebGL. Now, one thing you want to make sure you do is go to player settings, and you need to change this template to AirConsole. So if you don't change this to AirConsole, just make sure you can see that here. So this here, this WebGL template, if you don't set it to AirConsole, you will get an error. Now, I will show you at the end what that error is. Just for people who do hit that error, they'll have something to refer to. But for now, I'm going to hit the AirConsole template, and for the most part, I just need to actually build. So I'm going to select here. Let's put this sucker somewhere that we'll know where it is. So we got our build running. So now that it's running, this will take a little while to actually build and put together. You know, if you've got experience with Unity, you know sometimes building does take its sweet old time. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go over a couple of things. So when you build, I strongly recommend when you zip up that build to put on the AirConsole server, you give it a date, you give it a version, and you save that. So if you ever have to go back, you have that version, you can revert back to it if needed. You know, that's a great way to mitigate issues down the road you might hit. Maybe you upload a new version, you go, oh crap, that has a big error, let's revert back. But if you always overwrite your project each time without some sort of saving mechanism, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. You lost it, you got to, you know, revert back with a repository if you have one. If you don't, get one. So I'm actually going to pause for now until this is done building. Alright, so our export is done, and you see here we got a bunch of files here. You'll see your screen. Now by default you may or may not have the controller. I have it because I actually brought it in after, but essentially take the controller from your project, paste it in here. You must have the screen and controller. And then what you want to do is you actually take all that, and then we want to zip it up. Now that we have our archive, again, like I said here, you want to kind of give this something you can remember it by. So I'm just going to actually date it here. I think it's what, the 7th? Let's say it's the 7th. So we have that. Uh, Now, what you want to do is go into AirConsole, your developer side of things. I'm assuming you've already signed up. If not, sign up, get everything good to go. You want to hit create new game, and what that'll do is you have this template here. You want to fill in all your information, give it an ID, game name, your website, cover art. I like to just put a basic 512 by 512 image for cover art starting out. You don't need anything extravagant. You don't need anything over the top because you can always change that later. And then you'll notice I have no spot to upload my export. Hit create game and you'll actually get that option. The more options unlock. So you see here I've got upload a new game version. So we got here, we go export test, upload draft. Now what this is going to do, this will upload your game to the AirConsole server, and this will take a little while. You can hit refresh, but I recommend just go away and then come back. What's going to happen is once that's done, I'll actually get a link that I can play with. That link you can actually give to people. So let's say you got a version out and you're working on a new version. You can actually give that link to people and they can test it out, kind of like beta testing, which is really great and handy. So once this is done, I'll click on the link. I'll be able to actually open it on my phone and test out the game. Now remember, I haven't made any changes really. This is just the basic example that AirConsole gives you and shows you a vast amount of functionality you can do. If you start thinking, you'll be able to use this functionality to make your game quite easily. You can take an existing game and add in this functionality as well. Let's say you have a game that's already programmed for a controller. All you have to do is make a controller for the phone, do your messaging and whatever else is needed to fit in with AirConsole, and away you go. You've now got a game converted for AirConsole. So as you can see, I'm going to hit game preview. So we get this lovely little screen here. It'll generate a code. That code you enter on your phone. So I'm going to go here. We got AirConsole. There's an official AirConsole app. I like using that. It kind of gives you a better experience. It's better tailored to your phone compared to using the browser. I find if you use the browser, you sometimes get connection issues. You just really get issues all around sometimes. Now, for the most part, it does work well, but if you run into issues, use the official app. So you'll see I'm now connecting, and the screen is loading and updating. So you see I got a bunch of options on my phone here. And once this is loaded, okay, so I'm going to do show my nickname. And of course, so my name is Jerry. Let's see here. I want to broadcast a message. So you see that? Incoming message from device 1. Hey everyone. So you can play with this. You can, do a bunch of different testing if you want. Again, I think it's a great idea to have a screen like this where you can test your functionality. If you have a spawn ball function, you can put that in here, hit spawn ball, and you'll see it on the screen. So that is how to deploy and test the app. Again, this is very high level. I'll do more videos later going more in depth, but this is just to get you going. So now, as promised, I'm going to do a version where I don't select the template to show you what issues you will run into. So I'm going to go player settings. I'm going to select default, and I'm going to build. So we're going to wait for that. Again, I'm going to step away for a bit while this loads. Alright, so our build's done. I need to zip that up. So we're going to zip it. We're going to give it a different name this time. Again, you want to make sure that you can track this and go back to it. It'll save you a lot of hassle. Just trust me on this one. You don't have to, but I do strongly recommend doing this. So we'll say 2018 06 7, and we'll say version 1.1. Broken. I know it's broken, but obviously you wouldn't know that when you're doing it. So I'm going to actually delete my old version. I'm going to upload the new version. Now, when you get this actually fully deployed and it's in AirConsole and people can play it, you're going to have two versions. You're going to have your live version and a version that you're getting ready. So that makes it a little easier. You don't have to overwrite the live one. You can toggle between the two. It makes things a lot easier to manage. But when you're just starting out, you only have the one version. All right, so our upload's done. I'm going to hit preview and I'm expecting to see an error. So we'll wait, we'll get our phone connected. So 232-3691. Now you'll notice sometimes when you play on the same computer and phone that the code's pre-filled in. It's really smart that way, it's great. And then sometimes the code regenerates. So if you try this code right now while I'm creating the video, yeah, you'll be able to play with me. But if you try this later on when you're watching the video, the code's not going to work. So that's loading up. So you see here we got an error. So my screen has an error, but my phone does not. And we see here we got an error occurred running the Unity content on this page. See your browser JavaScript console for more info. So this here can be very ambiguous. If you just did a lot of changes, you might not know why. But again, it's because I did not select the AirConsole template. It's very important to do that. So I'll even open up the JavaScript console. You see, on-caught, syntax error. This doesn't really help. You have no idea why it's here. But again, it's very important that you select that AirConsole template and it'll work. I really hope you liked this video. I really hope it was informative and it can get you started on your project. Teach you the basics of AirConsole. If you were stuck on how to get this to run, I'm hoping if you follow this, it helps you out. I do want to make more advanced videos going forward to show you more complex functionality between AirConsole and Unity. So let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and I'll use that feedback to change my videos going forward. And because I really just want to help you guys out to understand AirConsole and Unity and make some really great games, and just have fun with it. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video, and bye for now.